Yes, friends, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. I really genuinely do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News. Welcome on in. There's lots of stuff going on. We are reaching the climax of the transfer window. Sorry about that. New microphone, Sennheiser. It should be wicked quality. I look forward to hearing your reports, and I've actually ordered a little microphone topper that's Football Therapy themed, which is great fun. We're having a lot of fun with the microphone. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Jackson. Could be a big old loan fee. Bayern Munich still interested. Axel Disasi. Everybody wants the Frenchman, which is nice. It's nice for our players to feel wanted. Some other stuff popping off as well. We could be invited automatically back into the Club World Cup because we're champions. That would be nice. I think that's fair. Guys, welcome back. Thank you for supporting me as always, for liking and subscribing. We're getting dangerously close to the target of 200,000 subscribers, so I'm very, very grateful. Loads of you guys have said really nice stuff about the content, so I'm genuinely very thankful for that. If you are interested in supporting me, there's a new feature on YouTube. What? Yeah, man. I saw it a while ago. I didn't understand it like the freaking boomer that I am, but it's called Hype. It's a hype feature. Down underneath the video somewhere, you either swipe along the comment section or the share buttons and stuff, and there's a little hype button. If you press it, I get more hype points. I've never felt so old in my life saying I get more hype points, but hype points are good for me, guys. So if you can hype the video, I will become more discoverable, and that's my wonderful community, you guys supporting the content. So thanks quite literally for the hype. Thanks for hyping me. All right. Let's talk about some transfers then. We do have some days left in the transfer window, and I expect things to pop off dramatically towards the end. Axel Disasi, now, what's his name? Santiauna, the French journalist, or works for French football media. It said Saudi club Neom. They are interested, and they made an offer to Chelsea for Axel Disasi. However, he's not interested in Saudi, which is unsurprising, and fair enough, man. You know, you've played in Europe at a decent level, stay in Europe. He prefers a move within Europe, he says. Several Premier League clubs are interested, so this could be a growing number, man. We know... Who do we know? We know Bournemouth, and Bournemouth still feel pretty darn confident they can get the deal done, and I said in recent videos, I think Bournemouth will be a really respectable landing spot for him. It has been for other Chelsea players of late, you know, most notably goalkeepers, and you'll see that, you know, if you play well for Bournemouth, you can get transfers to any club in the world. So he'll probably see that's a good move for him. Of course, Sunderland made a bid, but, you know, even though they had not the worst start, he'll probably think, nah. So it'll be very interesting to see where Axel Disasi goes, but it's nice and comforting to know there's a multitude of clubs that are interested, and for me that means a sale just will happen. Maybe a bidding war. Quickly on Sunderland, Mark Yu, Chelsea teenage loanee striker, scoring in last night, midweek in the cup. An equaliser, headed goal, a lovely goal. Oh, by the way, this is very strange. Have you seen this? The whole Mexican following for Sunderland? Like, the country of Mexico have decided they support Sunderland. I have no idea why. It's very peculiar, but if you follow their social media, all in the comment section, it's just Spanish replies with Mexican themed replies. It's very confusing, quite funny. Anyway, I had no idea why. But yeah, nice to see him scoring goals. I hope they start him more, because he's a good player, do you know what I mean? And we are probably going to sell Nico Jackson, and maybe there's a world where we start playing Joao Pedro more in behind a striker like Delap, and we're like, oh, we're short a conventional striker, a bit more like Delap. Enter Mark Yu. I'd love for it to be Shimweka as well, the young lad, but we'll see what happens there. So should we talk about Nico? I think we should talk about Nico. I'm trying to find out where's the sweet spot of focus, because probably there. Right. So there was some reports about his agent talking it was published by Give Me Sport, that his agent's like, yeah, everyone wants Jackson. Look, I think genuinely behind the scenes, stuff that we are not entirely privy to, there is probably a big clamour for Nicholas Jackson in this market as the deadline draws nearer. He's a great player. I know not all of you agree. It's my opinion. I'm allowed to state it. Chelsea and so saith Ben Jacobs, renowned journalist, broadcaster, saying that Chelsea are prepared to sanction a loan, don't panic, with obligation for Nico Jackson if a permanent transfer can't be agreed. Now, remember, loans with obligations essentially give the buying club maneuverability in financial fair play rules. They get to load, purchases into different financial like windows, and that will be essentially why they'd be interested in doing that. So when you might be like, yeah, we had an obligation to sign Sancho and we sent him back. True, but I imagine Chelsea wouldn't put themselves in a position where they'd have to do something like that. Also, £10 million, not euros, pounds, double digits, loan fee. For 12 months, 10 million quid. So what's that in euros for anyone who works in euros? That is 13 million euros for 1 year. And I imagine, in fact, hot dog, I'd put the farm on someone paying his wages as well. So, 10 million low fee, wages covered, obligation to buy. Suddenly, it doesn't seem so bad, does it? So this is Ben Jacobs saying that, and Bayern remain in talks. Very interesting with Bayern Munich. So they'll have Nico Jackson and they'll have Harold Kane. So, and maybe Jackson will go back to his winger days. I know they've just signed Luis Diaz, but of course, Coman's gone now. So, it'd be very, very interesting. I think Nicholas Jackson, he'll probably be looking at the multitude of suitors. If he wants to stay in the Premier League, he's got two very good Premier League teams in Villa and Champions League playing Newcastle that are genuinely interested. If he wants to just go, to be honest, like Bayern Munich, it is big boy settings when you go to Bayern. The allure is real. Harry Kane, Michael Elise, obviously like Musiala from the Chelsea Academy, he went straight there, didn't he? You win. Not only do you win titles in Germany, it's just a big name, it's a big brand, you've got a chance at winning the Champions League. And Jackson, at 2 years at Chelsea, you'd have to say, people who slag him off are wrong because, he's come so far from failing that medical to go to Bournemouth. And Bournemouth, by the way, at the time, that was nowhere near as good as the Andoni Iraola Bournemouth we see now. So that fell through. Somehow he found himself at Chelsea and he couldn't believe his luck. In a peculiar time when we had way too many players and we weren't good. But then he played well for a couple of years. And maybe that's a bit unfair. No, because he joined for Pochettino and things had settled a little bit. But point being, he joins Chelsea, it does well, and if he lands up at Bayern Munich and starts winning the league every season, from Villarreal to Bayern Munich in a couple of years with his profile raised massively, got a pay rise after 1 year at Chelsea, made an extra little bit of cash, he'll be very happy. I think I'm not saying he's definitely going to Bayern, I just think there are loads of clubs in for Nicholas Jackson, and we'll see an exit. All right. Just quickly on the Club World Cup, in this similar article that's being cited, on an article on the Mail that's been cited by the Blue Dodger, which is Chelsea Dodgers on X, he's saying, talking about the Club World Cup, of course, the next iteration comes, the next competition. Why is my brain failing me? Is in 2029, including, so they're wondering whether to just basically let Chelsea join, or participate, should I say, automatically, because we are the current champions of the world. Similarly, if you've won the Champions League, you qualify for the next one. You can win the Champions League. I think we did it, didn't we? Finished in the middle, mid-table, back in 2012. You get automatic qualification. So they're considering. I think they should do that. It's every 4 years. You got a lot of teams in it. If they are current reigning champions, it makes the competition look poorer if you just put them out. I think you should let us in for free. I think we should have automatic re-qualification for the Club World Cup. It's not yet decided. It's in 4 years, of course. It's not yet decided, but we've got plenty of time. A lot happens in 4 years, not least me turning, I think I'll turn 40 years old just before that, which is harrowing stuff. So let's just put that on the back burner, but it's interesting that it's being spoken about. Alright. So yes, the Fermin Lopez situation. It's real. I reacted to the David Ornstein article last night, in the dead of the night. Just quickly to cite the final piece from this article on the Mail. Chelsea sources say we hold a genuine interest in Fermin Lopez, but it does not mean we've dropped our desire to sign Xavi Simons. Chelsea is still working on selling Jackson and Nkunku, while Simons' camps awaits. Now, Xavi Simons apparently has turned down all kinds of clubs, most notably, Bayern Munich, and apparently Tottenham are interested. Now, it doesn't surprise me at all that Tottenham are interested, because they've already missed out on main targets like Gibbs, White, and Eze attacking midfielders. Xavi Simons would be perfect for Tottenham if they're looking for that kind of attacking midfielder. He's very, very high-suiting, high profile, and that's why we want to sign him. But the stories about Fermin Lopez are fascinating, because surely, we sign Xavi Simons and we don't need Fermin Lopez. But there's reports coming out of Spain were indicating that it's actually Maresca who got on the blower to him twice. He's had 2 phone calls with Fermin Lopez saying, yeah, come to Chelsea. Of course, Maresca speaks fluent Spanish really, really well. So you imagine that's what he's trying to do, get in his ear, convince him to come. To be honest, I'm really impressed by Maresca's multilingualism. I mean, obviously Italian, obviously English, Spanish, French. He speaks French, bro. I heard him speak French. Je comprends, huh? Have I missed something? 4 languages. Only 4. And these are unconfirmed reports in Spain that he called him twice, and then Barcelona tried to call Fermin, and they tried to contact him twice, and he didn't pick up his phone. How reports are getting these details from 2 missed calls, and them being a major part of the headlines, I don't know. But, yeah, very, very interesting. Apparently very real as well. It's that classic thing, can we just keep signing thousands of players? We somehow make it work, but these are high-profile, play-me-at-Chelsea players, so it's very, very confusing. On exits, that would allow these potential entries, would be Christopher Nkunku. Of course, we've spoken about Jackson. Now, Nkunku is apparently willing to lower his wage demands to find a landing spot. Apparently, a return to Leipzig isn't financially feasible. Now, I don't reckon that's probably wages, because if he is willing to lower his wages, that probably isn't an issue. But Chelsea's demands. 52 million quid we paid them for him. We'll probably be like 40 million to get him back, mate. But I don't think they fancy that. I can't speculate how much they'd be willing to pay. But I have a feeling not much, So, probably not Leipzig. The aforementioned Bayern München. Meine Bruders, they're quite interested. But I can't see them buying Nkunku and Jackson off us. There's probably whiteboards in scouting rooms or sporting directors' offices across loads of clubs at the moment with Chelsea players on there. And those 2 are on lots of them, I imagine. Just to reiterate, it's boring as hell, but just to say Garnacho, Chelsea, he thinks he's going to Chelsea. Chelsea think they can pay 25 million quid. Romano keeps talking about Garnacho to Chelsea on every freaking platform he gets, saying Chelsea, they're all just adamant that deal will happen. Fine. Fine. If it happens, fine. Do you know what I mean? 25 million quid, I would accept. Apparently, there's loads of stuff on social media about him. I'm not interested. But, 25 million quid, Garnacho, I will sign off on that. Right, Naz, me old mate Nizar Kinsella, has wrote on the BBC, on the Bubaka. Tyrique George, of course, that's another one that we haven't really spoken about much, and we really should, because he's a great young player. Bless him, he's looked kind of bummed out recently when coming off the pitch. When looking like he was, I don't know, trying to prove himself one more time, or I don't know. But I think he understands, Chelsea understand, he needs to play, and I think perhaps everyone agrees that a transfer is the optimum situation here, the optimum move. But for, with that, he would have to probably go on a permanent. I don't know. Like, again, it's pure profit. It's like, it's that word. It's the dirty word that gets them all excited up in the Chelsea offices. Tyrique George is believed to welcome a move to Roma. Ooh la la! And a source involved in the deal has explained that £25 million should be enough to make it happen, with a significant sell-on clause, says in his 25 million quid for Tyrique. I love Tyrique George. I'd be totally happy for him to stay. But £25 million, that's best part of 30 million euros. And of course, the keynote here is a significant sell-on clause, just like Carney Chukwuemeka to Dortmund, just like Renato Vega to Villarreal. It's Chelsea's money-making model. They feel like they're making great profits all over the gaff. Carney, granted, was making your money back, but of course, it's the sell-on clause that's the juicy one for them. But Vega was a big profit. Big juicy sell-on clause. Tyrique George would be pure profit and a juicy sell-on clause as well. It's a money-making exercise. It's pretty good. I think Jadon Sancho was turning down the move to Roma that maybe Tyrique George would be more inclined to take up. Of course, Jadon Sancho is 6 years older than Tyrique. Tyrique would probably see it as a great step in his career. Massive club, Roma. Look how they welcome their new signings as well. It's incredible. And then we'll see what happens there. We ain't done yet, guys. There's going to be some epic twists and turns along the way, and there always is with Chelsea. It's fun, it's exhausting, it's Chelsea. Let me know your thoughts, though. Comment down below. Thank you, as always, for supporting the content. Genuinely very thankful. You can do that by liking and subscribing. And again, while you're at the end of the video, you've watched the content, find the hype button. Hype the video. Put the hype. It's gamification of YouTube. Hype points. Pop in the hype points. Kids, man, I need to reconnect to the youth of today. Also, just in case you're interested, daily content on the second channel, Football Yannick, uploaded today, talking about Ruben Amorim, them selling Mainu and Garnacho for nothing, and the mood over at Old Trafford. Just simply search Football Yannick on YouTube. Alright, mate, I'll be here when a piece of news pops off, so I hope to see you back here. Peace!